Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when you must ask yourself, do I need to speak to prove my worth, or can my presence alone be enough? The world has trained us to believe that loud voices carry power, that those who argue the most win, and that the best leaders are the most outspoken. But let me tell you a secret. True influence is not about how loud you speak, but how effectively you command attention without uttering a word. The world is filled with voices competing to be heard, yet those who truly shape history are often the ones who understand the art of silent power. This kind of power is not rooted in noise, but in presence, action, and an unshakable sense of self. Think of the most impactful figures in history, leaders, visionaries, and game changers. Their greatest moments were not in shouting their beliefs, but in embodying them so completely that the world had no choice but to take notice. They walked into rooms and the atmosphere shifted. They made decisions and people followed, not because they demanded it, but because their actions spoke for them. There is a misconception that to influence others, you must be the loudest in the room. The truth is, silence is often more commanding than speech. The one who listens more, observes more, and speaks less holds the greatest power in any situation. Silence forces others to lean in, to wonder what you know that they don't. It creates an aura of mystery and depth. When people are unsure of what you're thinking, they tread carefully. They respect the unknown. In a world that glorifies self-promotion, those who master silent influence stand out. They do not chase validation, yet they receive it effortlessly. They do not argue to prove their worth because their mere presence is proof enough. They do not seek attention, yet attention naturally finds them. Why? Because they understand that true power is not in forcing people to listen, but in making them want to listen. The power of silent influence is rooted in self-control. It is the ability to remain unmoved in the face of chaos. When others lose their composure, the one who remains still becomes the leader. In conflict, the one who does not react emotionally holds the advantage. In negotiations, the one who listens with patience always wins. In relationships, the one who does not beg for attention commands the most respect. Winning without speaking is about positioning yourself in such a way that your very existence commands influence. This requires self-mastery, discipline over your emotions, clarity in your actions, and a deep understanding of human nature. It means being intentional about how you present yourself, how you respond to challenges, and how you carry yourself in every situation. People will always gravitate toward those who exude quiet confidence. They respect the one who does not need to announce their worth, but instead proves it through action. They admire the one who listens more than they speak because they understand that wisdom is gained through observation, not noise. So the next time you feel the urge to prove yourself with words, pause. Ask yourself, can I let my actions speak instead? The answer, more often than not, is yes. And in that silence, you will discover the true essence of power. The greatest battles in life are not fought with weapons or words. They are fought within. The ability to control oneself in the face of adversity, provocation, or temptation is the mark of a true winner. Self-restraint is not just about restraint. It is about power. The power to dictate your own responses, to remain composed when others break, and to stay focused when distractions try to pull you away from your purpose. Imagine two people in a heated argument. One is shouting, losing their temper, and desperately trying to prove a point. The other remains silent, watching, listening, unshaken. Who has the real power? The one who remains in control. In any confrontation, the one who loses their temper first also loses their influence. The moment you let emotions take over, you surrender control to someone else. But when you remain still, when you refuse to react impulsively, you maintain the upper hand. In life, people will provoke you. They will test your patience, question your abilities, and sometimes even insult your character. But your reaction determines whether they succeed in pulling you down or whether you rise above it all. When someone disrespects you, the expected response is anger or retaliation. But the unexpected response, silence, a composed smile, or simply walking away, disarms them completely. Through it sends a clear message. You do not have control over me. Mastering self-control is also about discipline. The difference between success and failure often comes down to the ability to control one's desires. Those who cannot resist temporary pleasures, whether it's laziness, distractions, or unhealthy habits, find themselves struggling to reach their full potential. But those who develop the discipline to delay gratification, to stay focused on long-term goals instead of momentary indulgences, ultimately achieve greatness. Think of an athlete training for a championship. Every day, they wake up before the sun, push their bodies to the limit, and make countless sacrifices. There are days when they feel exhausted, days when they want to quit, but their ability to control their thoughts and actions keeps them going. The same principle applies in all areas of life. The most successful individuals are not necessarily the most talented. They are the ones who can master their emotions, their habits, and their minds. Self-control also plays a critical role in decision-making. Impulsive decisions lead to regret. How many people have ruined relationships, careers, or opportunities because they spoke or acted without thinking? The ability to pause, reflect, and respond rather than react is a skill that separates the wise from the reckless. When faced with a tough situation, the person who can remain calm and think strategically will always find the best solution. Self-control is the foundation of true strength. It is the ability to walk away from a fight you could easily win, not because you are weak, but because you know the battle is not worth your energy. It is the ability to endure challenges without breaking, to stay silent when words would only create more chaos, and to remain focused when everything around you tries to pull you off course. Those who master self-control do not just win battles, they win in life. In a world where people constantly try to prove their worth with words, there is something undeniably powerful about letting your results do the talking. Many waste energy arguing, explaining, and seeking validation, yet those who truly win in life understand that real success is not about convincing others, it is about demonstrating undeniable excellence. When you focus on producing results instead of defending yourself, you automatically command respect, admiration, and influence. Consider this. Two people apply for the same job. One spends hours talking about their skills, achievements, and potential, while the other simply presents a portfolio of outstanding work. Who makes the stronger impression? Words may be persuasive, but nothing is more convincing than proof. When you deliver undeniable results, explanations become unnecessary. People see the evidence for themselves, and there's nothing left to argue about. Letting results speak for you also means refusing to engage in unnecessary battles. Often, when people doubt your abilities, the instinct is to defend yourself, to argue your point, or to prove them wrong through debate. But the most effective response is action. Instead of telling people what you are capable of, show them. Instead of getting caught up in arguments, redirect that energy into producing work so exceptional that it silences all doubt. Those who are truly great never feel the need to convince others of their greatness. They simply live it. This principle applies to every area of life. In relationships, rather than making empty promises, demonstrate love, loyalty, and commitment through consistent action. In business, rather than making bold claims, let the quality of your work set you apart. In leadership, rather than demanding respect, earn it by setting an example that others want to follow. When you focus on producing results, people naturally recognize your value, and their respect comes willingly. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. One of the greatest advantages of letting results speak for you is that it removes the need for external validation. When you are confident in your abilities and your work, you no longer feel the pressure to constantly explain yourself or prove your worth to others. This kind of self-assurance is rare, and it makes you stand out. People are drawn to those who quietly excel because they sense a level of mastery that does not need to be advertised. Silence, when paired with excellence, is one of the most powerful tools you can possess. When you achieve at a high level, when your work speaks for itself, and when your presence commands respect without a single word, you hold an advantage that few can match. You move beyond the realm of mere talk and into the realm of undeniable impact. At the end of the day, arguments are forgotten, explanations fade, and words lose their power, but results remain. The scoreboard doth not lie. The evidence of hard work, discipline, and perseverance is impossible to ignore. So instead of trying to convince people of your worth, make your success so undeniable that there is no room for doubt. Let your results be your voice, and the world will have no choice but to listen. Winning in life is not always about being the loudest or the most dominant. It is often about being the most aware. Those who take the time to observe, to listen, and to study their surroundings before taking action always have the upper hand. Strategic observation is the ability to step back, analyze situations, and make decisions based on knowledge rather than impulse. It is the skill of seeing what others overlook, understanding what is not being said, and using that awareness to navigate life with precision. Most people react too quickly. They speak before thinking, they act before understanding, and they make decisions based on emotions rather than facts. This is why so many find themselves trapped in unnecessary conflicts, bad deals, and regrettable situations. But those who master strategic observation know that patience is a weapon. They understand that the more they listen, the more they learn. The more they watch, the more they see. And the more they wait, the more they control the outcome. Imagine walking into a room filled with powerful people. The instinct for many is to speak, to impress, to make themselves known. But the wise individual understands that the real power comes from silence and observation. Who is speaking with confidence? Who is pretending to know more than they do? Who holds real influence and who is simply trying to appear? By simply watching, you gather critical information that allows you to navigate the situation with intelligence rather than force. In conversations, strategic observation allows you to understand people beyond their words. What someone says is often very different from what they mean. Their body language, tone of voice, and choice of words reveal far more than the statements they make. A person may say they are fine, but their eyes show frustration. They may speak with authority, but their hands tremble with uncertainty. Those who master the art of observation can see these unspoken signals and use them to their advantage. This principle applies not only to people, but to life itself. The greatest investors, leaders, and strategists do not rush into decisions. They study patterns, recognize opportunities before others, and move with precision. They understand that observation is the first step to mastery. Before an athlete makes a play, they study their opponent. Before a business leader makes a major decision, they analyze the market. Before a wise person speaks, they listen. Every great achievement begins with awareness. Observation also teaches patience, which is a rare and powerful trait. In a world that values speed, the ability to wait, to gather information, and to act only when the moment is right is an incredible advantage. Those who speak too soon often reveal their weaknesses. Those who act too quickly often make mistakes. But those who observe first and move second always find themselves in control. The true winners in life are not just those who act, but those who know when to act. They are not just those who speak, but those who know when to remain silent. They understand that knowledge is power, and the best way to gain knowledge is not by talking, but by watching, listening, and learning. Master the art of strategic observation, and you will always be steps ahead of those who rely only on words. But that would be only power. True power is not in how many battles you win, but in how many you avoid while still achieving victory. Many people believe that success comes from fighting for every opportunity, proving every point, and defeating every opponent. But the wisest and most successful individuals understand that the greatest victories are often won without a fight. Conflict drains energy, distracts from purpose, and creates unnecessary enemies. The ability to win without engaging in conflict is a skill that sets true leaders apart from the rest. The first key to winning without conflict is knowing which battles are worth fighting. Not every insult requires a response. Not every challenge needs to be accepted. When people argue, criticize, or try to provoke a reaction, they expect resistance. Engaging with them only fuels the fire, making the situation worse. But when you refuse to react, when you remain calm and composed, you take away their power. A person who cannot be provoked is a person who cannot be controlled. This principle applies in both personal and professional life. In relationships, unnecessary arguments often arise from the need to be right. But what is the true cost of winning an argument? If proving a point damages trust or creates resentment, then the victory is hollow. The stronger individual is not the one who speaks the loudest, but the one who can step back, see the bigger picture, and choose peace over unnecessary confrontation. A moment of silence is often more powerful than 1,000 words spoken in anger. In business and leadership, those who thrive are not the ones who constantly fight to prove themselves, but the ones who let their actions do the talking. When faced with competition, some choose to engage in direct conflict, trying to tear others down to get ahead, but the most strategic individuals rise above competition by focusing on their own excellence instead of fighting battles that do not serve them. They build their own success so undeniably that resistance becomes irrelevant. They make conflict unnecessary by being so good that they cannot be ignored. Winning without conflict also means mastering emotional intelligence. Many conflicts arise not from real problems, but from emotional reactions. pride, ego, frustration. The ability to control emotions, to respond with wisdom instead of impulse, is one of the most valuable strengths a person can develop. When others become emotional, the one who remains calm gains the upper hand. The moment you understand that not every challenge requires engagement, you become untouchable. One of the most powerful strategies in life is silence. Silence can be a response, a defense, and a weapon. When people expect a reaction but receive none, they are left unsettled. They are forced to rethink their approach. A well-timed pause can shift the direction of a conversation. A refusal to engage can turn an enemy into an ally. True strength is not in proving oneself through conflict, but in creating outcomes where conflict is unnecessary. In the end, the greatest victories are those where peace is maintained, energy is preserved, and success is achieved effortlessly. Winning without conflict is not about avoiding challenges. It is about navigating them with such wisdom and control that battles become irrelevant. Those who master this art move through life with grace, power, and an unshakable sense of purpose. True confidence does not need to be announced. It does not seek approval, nor does it demand recognition. The strongest individuals in any room are not the ones trying to prove themselves, but the ones who are secure enough to remain silent when others feel the need to boast. Silent confidence is a rare and powerful trait, one that commands respect, draws people in, and allows you to move through life with an undeniable presence. In a world where people constantly seek validation through words, social media, or public displays of success, there is something profoundly commanding about a person who does not need external affirmation. They do not need to tell the world who they are because their actions speak for them. They do not waste energy arguing for their worth because they already know it within themselves. This kind of confidence is unshakable. It does not rise and fall based on opinions, and it does not need to be defended. People often mistake loudness for strength. They assume that the one who talks the most, brags the most, or dominates every conversation must be the most powerful. But in reality, the loudest person in the room is often the weakest. Those who are truly confident do not need to seek attention because they already possess something far more valuable: self-assurance. Their silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of control. They do not feel the need to fill every silence with words because they understand that their presence alone is enough. This kind of silent confidence is magnetic. It draws people in because it creates mystery, intrigue, and a sense of authority. People want to know what you are thinking, what you know that they do not. When you do speak, your words carry more weight because they are rare and intentional. Unlike those who speak without thinking, your words are chosen carefully, making them more impactful. People listen when a confident person speaks, not because they are loud, but because they rarely waste words. Silent confidence is also a powerful tool in handling challenges. When faced with criticism or doubt, many people feel the need to defend themselves, to argue, to prove their worth. But the strongest response is often no response at all. Confidence means knowing who you are so completely that outside opinions do not shake you. When people realize that their words do not affect you, they lose their power over you. In leadership, silent confidence commands respect. The best leaders do not seek to control through force or fear, but through presence. They lead by example, by demonstrating excellence, by making calm, deliberate decisions. They do not need to assert their authority. It is naturally recognized. This is the difference between someone who forces respect and someone who earns it. At its core, silent confidence is about self-mastery. It is about knowing your worth without needing to prove it. It is about letting your actions speak louder than your words. It is about moving through life with quiet strength, unwavering purpose, and the understanding that true power does not need to be advertised. Those who cultivate this kind of confidence do not chase success. They attract it. True victory in life is not measured by how loudly you speak, how many arguments you win, or how much attention you command. It is measured by the strength of your presence, the power of your self-control, and the undeniable impact of your results. The most influential individuals are not those who constantly seek validation, but those who move with quiet confidence, strategic awareness, and unwavering discipline. Winning without speaking is an art, one that requires patience, wisdom, and mastery over oneself. It means knowing when to stay silent and when to act, when to observe and when to move, when to respond and when to let results speak for themselves. Those who embrace this mindset do not waste energy on unnecessary battles, do not seek approval, and do not allow emotions to control them. Instead, they focus on becoming so excellent that their success becomes undeniable in every area of life: business, leadership, relationships, and personal growth. Those who understand the power of silent influence always rise above the noise. They win not because they shout the loudest, but because they move with intention. They succeed not because they argue for their worth, but because their actions prove it. They lead not because they demand respect, but because they command it effortlessly. So the next time you feel the urge to prove yourself with words, remember this: the strongest people do not seek validation. The wisest people do not engage in every battle. The most powerful people do not chase attention. Instead, they move with purpose, let their results speak, and win without saying a word. And that is the kind of power that lasts.